Do you know what a father's greatest fear is? Losing his child. And Dean Martin learned that fear was real. Malibu, California, March 21st, 1987. Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Dean Martin at home. In the living room. Coffee cup in his hand, gone cold, not drinking. Looking out the window at the ocean, waves calm, sun bright, beautiful day. But Dean not seeing, eyes there but mind elsewhere, because worried, very worried. His son, Dean Paul, not answering his phone for 45 minutes. Dean Paul Martin, 35 years old, pilot, Air Force Reserve, flying F-4 Phantom jets. Today, training flight. Over San Bernardino Mountains. Routine flight. Normal training. But Dean uneasy. Something inside. Bad feeling. Very bad feeling. He picks up the phone. Calls again. Dean Paul's number. Ringing. Once. Twice. 3 times. 4 times. Voicemail. Hello, Dean Paul Martin. I can't be reached right now. Dean hangs up. Puts the phone on the table. Stands up. Walks to the window. Looks at his hand. Shaking. Why shaking? In the kitchen, housekeeper Angela washing dishes. Radio on, music playing. Dean hears, but not listening. 2:45, 15 minutes past. Dean sits again. Turns on the television. News, but nothing. Normal news. Can't shake it. Can't shake the unease. 30 years on stage. Sang in front of thousands. Never nervous. Never scared. But now? Now he's scared. Doesn't know why. But scared. Phone rings. Dean jumps. Reaches immediately. Answers. Hello? Mr. Martin? Unfamiliar voice. Male. Serious. Official. Yes? This is Major Thomas Reynolds, Air Force Reserve Commander. I'm sorry to be calling you. Dean's heart stops. Because that tone, that voice, those words. What happened? Voice hoarse. Throat dry. Regarding your son, Dean Paul Martin. This afternoon during a training flight. What happened? Dean yelling now. Jumped to his feet. Tell me. Silence. Long silence. Major taking a breath. His plane went missing. Dropped off radar. San Gorgonio Mountain area at 1400 hours. Missing? What do you mean missing? Communication cut off. Radar signal lost. Search and rescue teams dispatched. Dean leaning against wall, legs not holding, sliding, sitting on floor. Is he alive? Mr. Martin, we don't know yet. Investigation ongoing. Find him. Dean's voice breaking. Please, find him. We're doing everything we can. We'll keep you informed. Dean hangs up. Phone drops from hand to floor. Plastic sound, sitting, on floor, back against wall, head in hands. Angela runs from kitchen. Mr. Martin, what happened? Dean not answering, not moving. Mr. Martin, Angela drops to her knees. Tell me. Dean lifts his head, face white, eyes empty. Dean Paul, his plane, it's missing. Angela covers her mouth, hands shaking. 3 o'clock, news channels starting to broadcast. Breaking news, Air Force jet missing over San Bernardino Mountains. Pilot Dean Paul Martin, son of famous singer Dean Martin. Dean sitting at television, not moving, eyes locked on screen, helicopter footage, mountains, snow, forest, search teams, but nothing. No wreckage, no signal, nothing. 4 o'clock. Phone rings again, Dean running, almost falling, answers. Yes? Mr. Martin, Major Reynolds again. Did you find him? Desperate voice, pleading voice. Not yet, but we found wreckage on the mountainside. Dean hearing the words, but not understanding, brain refusing. Wreckage? Yes, sir. The plane, it crashed into the mountain at high speed. But my son, where's Dean Paul? Silence. Very long silence. Mr. Martin, at that speed, chances of survival, very low. But you don't know. Maybe he ejected. Maybe with a parachute. Parachute didn't deploy, sir. According to radar data, impact was sudden. No reaction time. Dean drops phone. Collapses. Because he understands. Now he understands. Dean Paul gone. His son gone. Angela comes to him, hugs him. Mr. Martin, Maybe he's alive. No. Dean's voice dead. He's gone. My son is gone. 8:00 p.m. Official statement comes. Air Force Captain Dean Paul Martin lost his life today at 1400 hours during a training flight. He was 35 years old. Dean sitting at television, hears announcement, but no reaction, just sitting, staring, empty stare. Angela crying, silently, in corner, but Dean not crying, because he can't cry, can't feel anything, just emptiness, huge emptiness. Next day, March 22nd, Sunday morning, Dean hasn't slept, sat all night, hasn't moved, sun rising, light coming through window, but Dean not seeing, phone ringing, constantly ringing, friends, family, press, everyone calling, Angela answering. Mr. Martin isn't speaking to anyone. Please understand, Frank Sinatra calls. Angela, I need to see Dean. Mr. Sinatra, he's not talking, not moving, just sitting. I'm coming right now. An hour later, Frank at door. Angela opens, Frank enters, sees Dean, in living room, same spot, same position. Frank approaches, sits next to him, says nothing. 5 minutes silence, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then Dean speaks, first time speaking, voice whisper. Broken. Did you know, Frank? What? When Dean Paul wanted to be a pilot, I didn't want him to. I was scared. I said, dangerous, don't do it. He pauses, takes breath. Difficult breath. But he insisted, said, Dad, this is my dream. And I let him. Voice breaking. I gave permission, Frank. I killed him. Frank turns, grabs Dean's arms. No, you didn't kill him. The accident killed him. But if I... No, Dean Paul made his own choice. You were just a father, a good father. Dean shakes his head. Not good enough? Because he's gone. And I can't bring him back. Silence. Frank hugs, tight hug. Two men, there, crying. 3 days later, March 24th, funeral, Los Angeles National Cemetery. Military funeral, full honors, hundreds of people, family, friends, military personnel, press. But Dean not there. Dean not at ceremony. Because couldn't go, couldn't get up, couldn't leave house, just stayed home. Looked at his son's photos. Dean Paul baby, Dean Paul child, Dean Paul young man, Dean Paul in pilot uniform. Each photo, a knife stabbing his heart. A week passes, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Dean not moving, not eating, not sleeping, not talking, just sitting, staring into space. Friends coming. Dean, go outside, get air, take a walk. No answer. Family coming. His daughters, Ricci, Gina, Diana. Dad, please, talk to us. Shakes head. Later, not now. Manager coming. Dean, shows are canceled, but you can come back. People are waiting. Dean looks, long look, then speaks. First time speaking clearly. No, I'm never singing again. But Dean, I said no, I'm done with everything. Manager leaves because he sees in Dean's eyes, decision final, won't change. A month later, April 1987. Dean leaves house, first time, gets in car, drives, where going? Los Angeles Children's Hospital. Hospital he went to every Christmas for 15 years. But didn't go in 1987 because Dean Paul had died. Parks, doesn't get out, just sits, looking at building, remembering. Those nights, those children, those smiles, but can't do it anymore because Dean Paul gone and smile gone. Starts car, goes back, home, a year passes, 2 years, 3 years. Dean never goes on stage, never sings, never goes on television, just stays home. Remembers his son. Sammy Davis Jr. dies. At funeral, Dean there, front row, crying, but not speaking, not singing, just sitting. Because his voice gone with Dean Paul. December 25th. Christmas Day. Dean Martin at home, in his bed. 78 years old, having trouble breathing, respiratory failure, daughters beside him, Ricci holding his hand. Dad, we're here, we're with you. Dean opens his eyes, looking but not seeing them, seeing someone else. At foot of bed, Dean Paul, 35 years old, in pilot uniform, smiling. Dean smiles. First time in 8 years. My son, he whispers. You came. Ricci looks behind. Nobody there. Dad, who are you talking to? Dean Paul. He's here, waiting for me. Dean reaches out, into space, to Dean Paul. I'm coming, son. I'm coming. Last breath, long breath. Then silence. Dean Martin dies, Christmas Day. The day he saw his son. Funeral, thousands of people. Hollywood there. Music world there. But most important moment this. Next to Dean's casket, Dean Paul's photo. 2 caskets, not side by side, but side by side in hearts. A speaker says, Dean Martin died March 21st, 1987. But his heart stopped that day. 8 years later, his body followed. Because Dean didn't live without Dean Paul, just existed, didn't sing, didn't laugh, didn't entertain, just waited to reunite with his son. And December 25th, 1995, they reunited. Today at Los Angeles National Cemetery there are 2 graves. Dean Paul Martin, 1951 to 1987. Dean Martin, 1917 to 1995. Not side by side, but side by side in hearts, forever. Dean Martin lived 78 years, but only sang for 70. Because the last 8 years, he was just a father who lost his son. And maybe this is life's most painful truth. Some losses never heal. Dean didn't heal, never healed. March 21st, 1987. That phone call, that news, that moment, changed everything, changed Dean Martin, silenced the music, killed the smile. And 8 years later, he joined Dean Paul. Because some loves are stronger than death, like father-son love. Dean lived, but didn't live, just waited to reunite. And December 25th, 1995, Christmas Day, his wish came true. Dean Paul met him, and they left together, father and son, together forever. Sometimes love is so strong that even death can't break it. Dean Martin loved his son so much that he stopped singing when Dean Paul died. He didn't live, he just waited 8 years to see his son again. And on Christmas Day 1995, his wish came true. If you love someone, tell them, today. Because Dean would give anything to have one more day with Dean Paul. Don't wait.